Good morning, and we shall start the session shortly.
Professor Vedi Prakash, good evening.
Yeah, very good evening.
Very good evening, sir. Very good evening. We're extremely honored to have you.
Thank you very much, Professor Edward, and good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, our father principal is there. Yeah.
Okay.
Father Dr. Agustin George is there.
Father George, very good morning.
Good morning.
And
good evening.
Good morning.
Some of you.
Good to see you, and good morning to everyone who have joined this conference.
Thank you, sir, for being the part of this program, and we will start the program shortly.
Okay.
Priya ma'am, can we check?
Good morning, everybody. I am Principal Dr. Ashok Desai, Vice President, AICB.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Dr. Sanjay Vakil, Secretary General, AICP.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Ashok bhai, how are you?
Yeah, fine. Good.
Very good.
Professor Edward.
Yes, sir.
I will appreciate if you can release me a little early, because it is night for me, and tomorrow morning.
Sure. Yeah. So after your address, sir can leave.
Early morning, I have an engagement at 8 o'clock actually.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, sir. Okay.
That's okay.
Surely.
It's okay. Sure. It's only a request as much as you can.
Yes, sir.
But it should not cause any inconvenience to anybody.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Principal Baba. How are you?
Yes, Dr. Mahajan has joined, Dr. Baba. Yes, Dr. Baba.
Yes, Ji.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, Dr. Mahajan has joined. Now, please, you can start. Okay.
Yes, sir, I have joined. Good morning, Babaji.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. We'll start.
I have joined.
Sir, we are waiting for Mr. Pradeep IAS just for 2 minutes. He said he will join 2 minutes. We are waiting for you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, Principal Mahajanji.
Morning, sir.
How are you, sir?
Fine, very fine.
Okay, sir.
Father?
Yes, please.
Father, he's joining a little later. He said we will start.
Okay, please. Okay, be proceed.
Professor Vedi Prakash, shall we start? Professor Vedi Prakash, shall we start? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am, please start.
Good morning, one and all. A very warm welcome to the 23rd Association of Indian College Principals Conference 2022 on leveraging the technology for higher education, hosted by IQAC Christu Jayanti College Autonomous, Bengaluru on 25th and 26th March 2022. Innovative technologies are transforming the landscape of education. Association of Indian College Principals, AICP, is an apex organization of college principals at the national level, which exerts positive influence on decision-making and policy formulation in the field of higher education. AICP assists the appropriate authorities in implementation of educational policies and programs and promote academic and administrative excellence in the field of higher education. A wide array of technology-based strategies, from big data analysis to cognitive learning, science, and artificial intelligence, can support senior campus leaders in better understanding how to improve student learning. We are in a rapidly changing environment in the use of digital technologies to achieve deeper learning and easier access to data and knowledge. I praise to motherland, mother, Vande Mataram. I request Christo Jayanti College Choir to render the national song. Thank you, choir. There is naught in this world more sweeter and delightful than that of a continual conversation with God. Prayer changes everything because it releases God's wisdom into your circumstances. Now, I request Christo Jayanti College Choir to lead us with the invocation song.
throughout the ages, and now speak to me. You my creator King. You who made the valleys and the skies, displayed your love on far horizons and before my eyes. You who lit the stars and set the dawn in time, call them all by name, and now you whisper mine. You're my creator King. And who am I that you are mindful of me? And who am I that you sent your love on me? And who am I that you are mindful of me? Yeah. And who am I that you sent your love on me? You're my creator King.
Thank you, choir. Visionary leaders are the builders of a new dawn, working with imagination, insight, confidence, illuminative ideas, and dynamism. Reverend Dr. Agustin George, Principal, Christo Jayanti College, is one such committed visionary who encourages and enriches our every endeavor. I request Reverend Dr. Agustin George to present the welcome address.
Most distinguished professors, Professor Vedi Prakash, former chairperson, University Grand Commission, Sir Pradeep IAS, Commissioner, Department of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka, Dr. R.K. Mahajan, President, AICP, Dr. Sanjay M. Vakil, Secretary General, AICP, Dr. Ashok M. Desai, Vice President, AICP, respected principals, professors, and delegates. I'm truly privileged and honored to welcome all of you to this conference with the theme on leveraging the technology for higher education, jointly organized by AICP and Christo Jayanti College Autonomous. Information technology continues to make a significant impact on the development of higher education, constantly creating new opportunities and challenges in all aspects of educational institutions. Various forms of digital and blended learning strategies are very much promising. As National Education Policy 2020 recognizes the importance of leveraging technology, we need more comprehensive education technology and IT solutions to give educators and learners access to platform that meets our needs. Studies show that students learn best when they are actively learning. Many educators are passively using technology, allowing the learners to watch videos and read assigned text on their own. Currently, and many educators struggle to reduce the passiveness of online learning and increase the interactivity. By the introduction of the online degree courses, higher education institution can attract more students from around the world, increase students' enrollment, and recruit professors with the field knowledge and industrial experience who can share outstanding knowledge and show students how to communicate ideas and provide guidance in researching to deepen the global understanding. The students can also access the courses offered by the world-class Indian and foreign institutions. It would also mean greater access to students who do not have the opportunity to enroll in full-time education. So at our institute, we harness the emerging technological tools to ensure that we provide the quality higher education that enable us to demonstrate our abilities for the stakeholder satisfaction and to tackle the major challenges in the field of education. At this right opportune, the Association of Indian College Principals have decided to organize such an august gathering of principals and higher education providers to explore the ways to learn how we can leverage the digital technologies and tools to ensure education for everyone for the shaping of the better future of India. On this occasion, on behalf of the XXIII College, I'm immensely happy to welcome Professor Vedi Prakash, the former chairperson UGC New Delhi, who placed a high priority to reform the higher education sector of our nation and was instrumental in bringing the quickened pace in the sector. These are your profound thoughts and perspectives are sure to inspire the proceeding of this conference. I join with the entire XXIII family and the AICP in general to extend a wholehearted welcome to you. The hearty welcomes are. We have Sri Pradeep PIAS, Commissioner, the Department of Higher and Technical Education, the Government of Karnataka. He is going to join soon. With a deep wisdom and a vast experience, he was instrumental in bringing the quickened pace in education development in Karnataka, and especially the implementation of national education policy in Karnataka, which is the first in our country. A hearty welcome, sir. I welcome the honorable organizers, Sri R.K. Mahajan, the President AICP, Sri Sanchi M. Vakil, Secretary General AICP, Dr. Ashok M. Desai, Vice President AICP, who are contributing immensely to bring the principals of colleges together for addressing the common issues and problems affecting the institution of higher learning and influence the decision-making and the policy formulation in the field of higher education in India. Hearty welcome to all of you, dear sir. The resource person and panelists for this conference have changed previous commitment in their professional duties to find time to render the insights on this conference. On behalf of the organizers of this conference, I deeply appreciative and offer a cordial welcome to all the resource persons. Hearty welcome all of you. The lasting ceremony of this conference will be framed on the pictures of the active presence and insightful deliberation of the distinguished delegates who are the part of this virtual gathering. My warm greetings to principals, educationists, and other participants of this virtual conference with the theme leveraging the technology for higher education. Hearty welcome all of you. I represent a diligent and dynamic faculty members and students of XXIII College Autonomous. and whose transcendental commitment transformed the college what it is today. And my role is to proliferate the sense of belongingness and create an ambience of trust with all stakeholders here. Our quality journey was acknowledged by the NAAC with A++ grade and a score of 3.78 out of 4, and received the first place in Green Smart Campus Award at national level. I especially congratulate Dr. Baba Jnanakumar and Dr. Aloysius Edward and all the faculty members and students for the wonderful effort to organize this conference. I welcome all of them to this conference as well. Hearty welcome all of you. I fail in my duty if I don't mention the conference committee for their effort and coordination, and welcome them with much appreciation. I'm so delighted to wish all of you the most enriching time ahead and welcoming all of you to this conference. I remain. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. A very warm welcome to the one who inspires all of us to give our best. Reverend Dr. Agustin George, Principal, guides and spearheads the academic processes at XXIII College with his invincible enthusiasm and determination. Thank you, Father. A person with immense positive energy and the one who drives the IQAC team of XXIII College forward in the path of excellence with his farsightedness, a true visionary leader. Now I invite Dr. Aloysius Edward, Director, IQAC, XXIII College, to present prelude to the conference.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to Professor Vedi Prakash, and good morning to all of you. Warm greetings. Professor Vedi Prakash, former Chairman, University Grants Commission. Shri Pradeep IAS, Commissioner, Department of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka. Father Dr. Agustin George, Principal, XXIII College Autonomous. Dr. R.K. Magajan, President, Association of Indian College Principals, AICP. Dr. Ashok M. Desai, Vice President, AICP. Dr. Sanjay M. Vakil, Secretary General, AICP. Executive members of AICP, principals, deans, directors, administrators, faculty members, and research scholars from various higher education institutions across the country. Deans, HODs, IQAC members of XXIII College Autonomous, dear colleagues and students. Higher education plays a pivotal role in the development of a country as it is viewed as powerful means to build knowledge-based society. The current pandemic of COVID-19, what we have been experiencing for the past 24 months, has changed the landscape of teaching learning system in the world. Digital platforms or virtual mode becomes a necessary and the only option to continue and foster formal or informal education during this challenging period. The synchronous and asynchronous learning approach becomes very popular and part and parcel of blended learning approach. The educational systems and processes are greatly influenced by the incredibly rapid technological changes. As per the McKinsey report published on March 3rd, 2022, India has overtaken the United States in terms of internet usage and now stands next only to China after witnessing the phenomenal 50% growth. From 23 startups in 2013 in the state of Karnataka, the number of startups have risen to 11,237 in December 2021, and more than 60% of these startups is technology-enabled and technology-based. Productivity is considered as the comparative analysis of inputs and outputs. In educational system, the inputs are the teachers, students, classroom materials, equipment of teaching, methods of teaching, and outputs are quality and quantity of student learning. Proper integration of information and communication technology, ICT, with a teaching learning environment increases educational experience and increased productivity. ICT plays a vital role in bringing about qualitative change in every aspect of our life in general and that of governance of education. ICT has become the backbone of the global society, and use of ICT in teaching learning is one of the benchmarks of determining higher educational institution excellence. So higher education 4.0 is highly influenced and governed by Industrial Revolution 4.0. One of the key features and principles of higher education 4.0 is a learner-centered approach of teaching learning with the flexibility and greater autonomy in teaching and learning, that is learning anytime and any, and thereby personalized learning becomes integral part of it. The conventional classroom teaching and learning methods are augmented and replaced by technology-powered online education, as our father principal rightly mentioned, which has made the various edutech apps very popular. The high demand and the diversity in educational systems also saw the entry of many novel edutech education technology firms and startup companies with a plenty of learning programs and application. India's edutech industry is growing at an exponential pace and has become the second highest in the world. So edutech business in India is expected to touch $4 billion by 2025. So in this scenario, the roles of teachers have changed significantly in this new paradigm. The teachers have to transform themselves to be facilitators and curators. As technology expands and becomes more powerful and pervasive, there's a growing discussion of the innovative ways that technology can be used. There's 5 emerging trends in technology in higher education are: 1, conducting online assessment. 5 to 10% of higher education institutions in the country conducted online examination in this challenging period with proctoring, including XXIII College Autonomous. Broadcasting, big data for performance tracking. This technology can be used to maintain right records and data of students, saving the higher education institutions a lot of time. Using IoT in all our educational processes, managing attendance digitally through biometrics, tracking students' location in real time, tracking college bus timings, and virtual reality labs allows the students and faculty to conduct advanced science experiments in virtual reality science labs. Keeping in mind the significant use of technology in higher education, University Grants Commission on 20th May 2020 proposed the blended mode of teaching in higher education institution. It is emphasized 40% online mode and 60% offline mode for all the academic courses. It reflects the concern of stakeholders in higher education institutions to promote more and more adoption of technology in higher education. With this background, Internal Quality Assurance Cell of XXIII College Autonomous is extremely happy to host 23rd Association of Indian College Principals Conference on leveraging technology in higher education, with the objective to explore how the technology is changing the relationship between faculty and students, and to share the experiences in the use of technology. As Father Principal rightly mentioned, XXIII College Autonomous strives to enhance excellence by integrating technology in admission, teaching, learning, enrichment of XXIII learning management system in Moodle platform with various plugins by our own faculty members, research, student assessment and evaluation, accounting and finance, student support systems, student data management, and administration. The college continues to commit its resources for effective use of technology in all its academic processes. The IQAC of the college plans, guides, and monitors quality assurance and quality sustenance activities of the institution in all the 3 cycles of NAAC accreditation. The continuous thrust for quality is highly evident. The 3rd cycle of accreditation, the institution has been re-accredited with the highest grade A++ with a CGPA of 3.78 out of 4. IQAC of the college also organizes national conference and workshops consecutively for a past 14 years to disseminate information on various quality parameters of higher education. It's a proud moment for the college to organize this 23rd AICP conference. This conference has 4 keynote sessions, 5 plenary sessions, 2 panel discussions, and 2 case study presentations on best practices. Dr. R. Mahesh from BITS Pilani will speak on challenges in higher education, issues and probable solutions, and insight in the first keynote session. The second keynote session is on education, the digital era, which will be handled by Sri Arvind Srinivas, Board of IT Education Standards and former Dean of Ion Academy of TCS. Dr. Bhagyavan, a Special Officer of E-Governance, Government of Karnataka, will deliver a session on technological initiatives in higher education by the Government of Karnataka. And Professor Dhaval Pujara of Nirma University, Gujarat, will handle the 4th keynote session on leveraging technology for rising research visibility. On this great occasion, we have 2 eminent administrators. Professor Vedi Prakash, a distinguished academician of our country who has initiated various reforms in higher education as Chairman, Vice Chairman, and Secretary of University Grants Commission. Shri Pradeep IAS, Commissioner, Department of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka, who is instrumental in introducing various technological initiatives in the state of Karnataka. We are sure that the addresses by Professor Vedi Prakash and by Shri Pradeep IAS would set proper tone for the conference. While we acknowledge and appreciate all the executive members of AICP, President, Vice President, and Secretary General, principals, vice principals, deans, administrators, management representatives, IQAC coordinators, faculty members, and researchers who are participating in the conference in a virtual mode, both in Zoom platform and YouTube live session from various institutions across the country. We invite all the participants to make this conference a real success through active involvement in all the keynote and plenary sessions on various sub-themes of the conference. Once again, I, on behalf of the Krishna Jayanti College Autonomous, welcome all of you to this conference. Thanking you. I remain.
Thank you, sir. I'm extremely honored to introduce you to Professor Vedi Prakash, former chairperson, UGC, New Delhi. Professor Vedi Prakash, a distinguished name in Indian academia, has a unique distinction of spearheading the University Grants Commission, UGC, the apex regulator of higher education in India, as its chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. Under his stewardship, the UGC made significant strides in the areas of curricular reforms, internalization, basic scientific research, skill education, and gender and social equity in higher education. He has to his credit the transformation of NIEPA into a university where he served as its founder vice chancellor. In his stellar career of 45 years, he made seminal contribution as advisor education in the Planning Commission of Government of India, Chairman, National Council for Teacher Education, Professor and Head DEME, National Council of Educational Research and Training, Joint Director, Staff Selection Commission, Government of India. A US Fulbright scholar, Professor Vedi Prakash has been a visiting faculty at University of Windsor, Canada, a guest faculty HIID Harvard University, and consultant to the World Bank. He has the distinction of being an interlocutor under prestigious US International Visitors Leadership Program, IVLP. He has the honor of serving as a member of the jury for a notable UNESCO APEID Benhoe Award for Educational Innovations for 10 long years. He represented India in numerous bilateral and multilateral forums in about 30 foreign countries. He has published extensively on a wide spectrum of areas concerning school education, higher education, and educational planning and administration. He has received a number of honors and awards from a number of institutions and learned societies for his contribution in the area of education. Recently, Professor Vedi Prakash has published a book titled Revisiting Issues and Concerns in Higher Education in the Backdrop of National Education Policy 2020. It is a must read for every teacher, heads of institution, policy makers, and policy implementers. Good evening, sir. We know that you are in a different zone, and we respect and we value your time, sir. So we are extremely privileged to have an experienced academician and distinguished administrator with a wealth of experience amidst us today. I now request Professor Vedi Prakash, former chairperson, UGC, to deliver the inaugural address.
I'm unmuted. Thank you very much, Professor Priya, for your kind words. Respected Professor R.K. Mahajan, Professor Ashok Desai of All India College Principals Association, Mr. Pradeep, Commissioner, Department of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka, Father Augustine George, Principal CMI, Dr. Edward, Conference Chair, KG College, Bangalore, and all other distinguished members of the conference. How happy I am to be with you this morning from a farther place. And this was the request made by Professor Aloysius Edward to me through mail, and I happily accepted that. Having regard to both the profile of the college principals and the standing of the participants of this annual conference, I have decided to reflect on two aspects of higher education. Higher education indeed is a very vast field. You have chosen leveraging technology for higher education as one of as the topic of this conference. But what I have decided that I will speak on two aspects of higher education, of course, about leveraging technology in higher education as well. But I will speak in brief about rethinking of quality in higher education, wherein I propose to highlight three critical challenges that we have been facing and try to recommend a three-dimensional approach to address those challenges. And in the second part, I will focus on the topic of the conference, that is leveraging technology for higher education. So please allow me to take first part first, that is rethinking of quality in higher education. My dear colleagues, education is a subject that has continued to evolve and has extended its reach and coverage since the dawn of human history. Everyone knows that. It is evident from recorded history that societies have played an important role in the spread of education all the way from the earliest time to the present day. The progressive societies of the world realized much earlier than others that education holds great promise for individuals, social, economic, and spiritual transformation. And it was for this reason that right from the early times, they recognized education as a unique investment in the present and the future. And in education, especially higher education, is extremely critical for social, economic, and technological advancements. It is higher education that provides us with critical tools to understand the social dynamics, which help us in designing interventions to ensure equity and taking steps towards creating an egalitarian society. Higher education develops and promotes technology which permeates in all dimensions of human development. That is what we are going to discuss in this conference. These developments have necessitated bringing out the quality aspect of higher education. The future of higher education is very important to the nation. In some countries, focus on quality has led to setting up of newer institutions with better infrastructure. So much so that in certain cases, the university system has been sidestepped in preference to the so-called premier institutions, which has led to an uneven distribution of resources favoring smaller systems. In most economies, you would have also realized that higher education is facing multiple crises. But the most pertinent crisis amongst them is the crisis of quality, especially in the developing economies, wherein the emphasis is laid more on massification of higher education. And we belong to that block actually. We have just entered into the earliest stage of massification of higher education, because the gross enrollment ratio in higher education in India happens to be around 26.7%. Though there is a growing concern about quality management in higher education, there are very few countries that have been able to nurture quality with access and equity. That is the crux of the problem, actually. Some governments have set up agencies for quality assessment at the federal level, as well as at the provincial level, if you look at the international scenario. Both mandatory and voluntary type of assessment and accreditation system can also be seen across the globe. This is how we had started in 1994 when we established the National Assessment and Accreditation Council, and subsequently the National Board of Accreditation, when it was not mandatory. But it was in 1999 when it was made mandatory, but there has been a very slow progress. Somehow, there are various kinds of practices like subject assessment, academic audit, institutional accreditation, program accreditation, national and international rankings, etc., which are in vogue. Some of the practices that are currently in use are quite comprehensive. Basically, all of them, though with varying academic standards, aim at improving teaching and learning and assuring academic standards. I mean, Dr. Edward was talking about the internal quality assurance cell, which have been established in every single institution. They also provide a good deal of information to both parents and students and help them make a first choice selection of the institution and the program which they want to undertake. It is evident that curricular provisions in higher education do not lay adequate emphasis on core fundamentals, nor on futuristic orientation. There are universities which are offering programs which are absolutely unheard of. I'm sitting in a place where, I mean, they are trying, they are offering programs for having the kind of infrastructure wherein they can have driverless cars and public transports. In certain cases, quality has reached such a sorry pass that it requires replacement of traditional approach with more collaborative approach. And since quality is a question of degree, universities in their own context have to do serious rethinking about quality. While we have evolved some system of quality assurance, a lot more needs to be done on classroom processes, which remain the cardinal concern of quality. People ask insightful questions about students, quality of students, faculty, quality of faculty, and community in terms of lifelong learning, employability, career development, global citizenship, leadership, and teamwork, for which we, teacher educators and higher educational institutions, have very weak answers. And this is why, because we have very weak answers for these kinds of questions, rethinking quality in higher education becomes a question of national competitiveness. Quality in higher education obviously requires multiple interventions. Some countries have designed and developed norms and standards for assessment and accreditation of institutions and programs. We, as a nation, are yet to bring out the National Higher Education Qualification Framework. We do not have one, and which is why we are facing critical problems at the international level. The trend is gradually moving towards ranking institutions, which was not the case earlier. Rethinking is required not only in one aspect of higher education, but on multiple aspects of higher education. Rethinking is required about weeding out obsolescence in curricular provisions and testing thereof in terms of higher order cognitive operations. Rethinking is also required as to how teachers can bring out the innate qualities of thoughts and practices. Quality being a social construct, meaning thereby that it will remain a moving target, particularly in higher education. It would continue to be a major challenge in most societies, and therefore rethinking of quality in higher education would always remain a challenge. All these changes have given rise to new quality assurance practices. Both massification and globalization have in fact changed the relationship between the state and the universities and other institutions of higher learning. While the cost of education is increasing in leaps and bounds, state funding is not keeping pace with growing demands of higher education. And while we have been asked to switch over to remote teaching and learning, we did not have proper wherewithal to do a good job of remote teaching and learning. And in addition, the states are putting pressure on institutions to perform. Policymakers are seeking new means for assuring quality, which are driven by extra funding, and that extra funding is not available. I mean, the funding which colleges like Christ Jayanti College used to receive may not be receiving, neither from the state resources nor from the central resources. The global demand for a skilled workforce is pushing for changes in the overall degree framework as policymakers seek international recognition of academic credentials. And the rapid growth of higher education and continuous pressure of developing economies to increase the gross enrollment ratio have led to new challenges to the national system of quality assurance. Competitive forces unleashed by globalization and massification require institutions of higher learning to be more responsive to changing markets and students' interest. Thus, it requires greater flexibility and autonomy from traditional state quality regulations. Such developments have altered the environment and revealed the inadequacies of both internal and external practices of assuring academic standards, leading to innovative form of academic quality assurance. Apart from participating in external accreditation and ranking processes, it is desirable for the institutions to carry out academic audit on their own, and which is why University Grants Commission had come up with the proposal of setting up internal quality assurance cells on the campuses of each and every institution of higher learning. They may focus on their existing programmatic structures to have an overview of different faculties and the programs they are under. This would help them not only know the existing academic profile of the institution based on the analysis of the ground realities evolved out of the interactions with the various stakeholders, but also enable them to effect necessary changes in their programs. There are three major challenges which I would like to focus in this part of my address, in brief, that have been barely addressed thus far by the Indian universities. And I'm saying it consciously, actually. Number one is, how far have we been able to align our programs with the market forces? Number two, to what extent have we been successful in creating new knowledge in different domains of study in keeping with the traditions? And three, to what degree have we given a futuristic orientation to our curricular provisions to keep pace with the changing times? What are we doing about the transport management, water management, cyber security, disaster management, renewable energy, community health? The solutions for these kinds of problems have to emerge from the campuses of institutions of higher learning. These are the tough empirical questions that can be answered only by measured phenomena, not simply by perception. They are nevertheless the most pertinent questions that would continue to haunt the university system if ignored. The time has come when these long-standing challenges need to be addressed by such approaches that are culturally appropriate, ethically correct, and financially viable. Therefore, we may consider, I'm suggesting this, and I do not claim that this would be practicable on the campus of every institution, but I think we need to come up with a different approach. So I'm suggesting a three-dimensional approach, and I have consciously decided to share it with this august audience, which is slightly away from the topic of the conference. To begin with, it can be tried out in a select few promising institutions. I'm not saying that we should immediately implement it on the campus of each and every institution of higher learning, but broadly, it can be scaled later. Alternatively, some institutions can slowly and carefully take one step at a time. The specifics of the suggested approach would require 3 competent groups in each department, operating in tandem. The first group should constantly remain in touch with the market and keep aligning their programs in close collaboration with the business leaders. Such programs should have a strong component of hands-on training, which may be arranged under the supervision of designated staff member of the business houses. But then this group will have to provide solutions to the business houses, and that too in time. It will help institutions prepare an industry-ready workforce, which will benefit industry in terms of additional resource investment that they have to incur in organizing on-the-job training for newcomers. It should, however, not mean giving institutions a complete business or customer orientation, nor should it mean to leave them at the mercy of the market forces. The state has to provide support. The center has to provide support, because institutions are primarily meant for the advancement of knowledge and not for financial gains. The second group of the institution should have a strong commitment to real life, cognitive scientific research programs in different areas of study, with its implicit philosophical suppositions that lead to a tangible outcome in the form of new knowledge, since it is one of the inevitable. If we continue to disseminate and certify knowledge which is created elsewhere, then we are not doing the duty that we are expected to perform as an institution of higher learning. The task of this second group, though difficult, has to be accorded uppermost priority, because that alone reveals the truth and leads to invention and innovation, besides freeing humans from the shackles of ignorance. We must consistently test the limits of our knowledge. The third group should give a futuristic orientation to the programs of the institutions of higher learning. It should constantly design programs which, on the one hand, should create infrastructure and workforce to meet the future requirements of the society, and on the other, save humanity from both man-made and natural catastrophes. The way we were invaded by this pandemic in March 2020, it exposed the hollowness of the system that we have created over the years. We were not ready to switch over to remote teaching and learning. Many of us were ignorant talking through the electronic devices. Many of us were not comfortable making PowerPoint presentations. Many of us were not were not aware of what is this proctored examination business all about. Such programs should prepare a workforce which can find solutions for future problems like urban transportation, potable water, food security, safety, green energy, etc. This would, of course, require resource allocation. It would require strategic planning. It would require focused attention, and it would also require a talented and committed faculty and a good student to faculty ratio. If we are going to have teacher-pupil ratio to the order of 1:100 or 1:150, we cannot do this. This is what is missing in most institutions of ours, which is why their desire to compete with the best of the world remains a mere mirage under the prevailing circumstances. The changing requirements of the global economy need a rethinking of the quality of higher education and a policy shift, moving from a haphazard policy to a more reasoned one, commensurate with the scale of context-specific dimensions. What have we done? Whenever we realize that there is a decline in enrollment in basic sciences, we would set up Indian Institute of Science Education and Research to promote science education. Whenever we realized that we were short of technocrats, we decided to set up Indian Institute of Information Technology. Because our traditional universities were having an ambivalent attitude. They did not come forward and don't embrace technology and offer programs pertaining to technology in 90s, and which is why the government of India had to set up the IIITs, then NITs. So in a way, you will excuse me for making this blunt observation that we are in the habit of putting the safety walls actually. That does not provide the correct solution. So let us know that the future of higher education is very important for the progress of the country. Let us know that no human pursuits has ever made any material progress until higher education was brought to bear upon them. We must not be complacent with our minuscule progress here and there. We must consistently test the limits of our knowledge. Institutions must ask questions where the answers are not known. Let us also know while school is the discipline, university is freedom. This is what I wanted to, share with you in the first part of my address. I'll take another, Edward, if it is fine, I'll take only 20-25 minutes to reflect on the technology part. Is that okay?
Our Shri Pradeep is there, IAS Commissioner is there. So, yeah, I think he may have some duty, official duty. So, after his address, is it all right, sir? Because he may, he's there.
Find out if he's okay, in a hurry.
We'll find out. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Ask
Pradeep, sir?
I will stop. Otherwise, I will complete in 10 minutes.
Morning, Father.
Yes, sir, Father. Sir, we are ready. You are Sari's having another 20 minutes to go, or sir can deliver your address and then...
If I can do it even in 15 minutes.
Okay. Pradeep, sir?
Can I finish in 2 minutes, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please. Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am? Priya, ma'am? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Professor Vedi Prakash will take it after Mr. Pradeep's address, sir.
Sure.
No, yes, sir. Yes.
It is my privilege to introduce you to the chief guest of today, Shri Pradeep P. IAS Commissioner, Department of Collegiate and Technical Education. Shri Pradeep P. is a young, vigilant, and dynamic IAS officer who belongs to the Indian Administrative Service 2009 batch. He is an engineer by profession, having completed PE in Electronics and Communication from Vidya Vikas Institute of Engineering and Technology, Mysore. His previous assignments include Project Officer and Additional Collector, Integrated Tribal Development Project, Melghat, Amaravati District, Chief Executive Officer, Zilla Parishad, Nagpur District, Collector and District Magistrate, Nandurbar District, Collector and District Magistrate, Ratnagiri District, Secretary to Deputy Chief Minister, Government of Karnataka, Commissioner, Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, which he presently holds. So we are extremely honored to have such a distinguished person with us today. I now invite Shri Pradeep P. to address the virtual gathering.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to all. Good morning to Professor Vedi Prakash sir, Professor Mali sir, and Dr. Augustine, and to all the distinguished guests present in this for this conference, the principals, All India Association of Indian College Principals. Thank you for inviting me to this conference on a very relevant topic, which is leveraging technology in higher education. Thank you for this. To start with, when we say technology, do we want to say that technology can replace classroom experience? Absolutely not. Classroom experience is absolutely required, but the relationship between the teacher and the student is absolutely that organic relationship with what brings out the learning. But classroom experience without the technology supplement in today's world, I feel is not complete. So the technology opens up a whole new vista of teaching learning experience, and it is also a great leveler. We have to see that in the context of government colleges, and we have seen that since the majority of students who come to government colleges are from socioeconomically backward classes and from rural background, one of the main criteria of education, which is the social equity and inclusion, one of the factors of education. For that, again, technology plays a major role that we have seen during the COVID and after COVID experience. The technology can be a great leveler and a great social equity and inclusion catalyst. It will also open up a huge dose of wisdom and knowledge. It helps teachers to open these dose of wisdom and knowledge to students in a way either to unknown of. I feel a student who is now studying in a village school or a college, and a Hobli level college or a Taluka level college, will have access to knowledge or wisdom at the international level, national level, and wherever it is, they can have access to it. It will also bridge the huge digital divide that is present between rural and urban colleges, rural and urban areas, and between even the government and private colleges. In this context, I would like to put some light on the initiatives that have been taken in Karnataka. I would like to say that during COVID, COVID fastened the pace of adoption of technology. Before COVID, I would say that not even 20% of our teachers used PPTs, PowerPoint presentations as a part of teaching learning experience. Now I can confidently say that majority of our teachers are now aware of PowerPoint presentation and use of technology, online teaching modes and everything. I would like to say that more than 70,000 classes were conducted by our teachers during COVID. And with the experience of COVID, we have started a digital initiative, which is called Digital Learning Initiative, which has 3 pillars. One is the Karnataka Learning Management System, which is the comprehensive learning management system. And the second is the smart classrooms, wherein this Karnataka LMS can be better made use of. And the third is the devices. So devices, because during COVID, we came to know more than 70% of our students who come to government colleges were not having even access to a smart phone. So then Government of Karnataka decided to provide a 10-inch, 8-inch tablet to all of our students so that they can make full use of our Karnataka learning management system and the smart classrooms. So I would like to say, with all these 3 pillars, Karnataka is taking a giant stride in the digital learning initiative. With this, I would like to say that today more than 250 participants are here. I'm not sure whether government college principals are also a part of this Association of Indian College Principals, but I would like to request every principal who is present here, because it is a given, or it has to be accepted, that the private colleges are a step ahead in terms of adoption of technology in teaching learning experience in higher education or in general in education. So I'd like to request each and every principal here, given the social equity and inclusion that the government colleges serve, I would like to say the 90% of our students are from socially economically backward classes. So please partner with at least one government college in your area, whoever participants are here, in terms of helping them in further adoption of technology, further updation of use of technology in education. That is what I would like to say in this conference, and I wish all the best, all the very best to all the participants of this conference. And I thank Christu Jayanti College for giving me an opportunity to participate in this event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Before Shri Pradeep leaves, I request all the delegates to keep their video on so that we'll take a photo of the session. Kindly keep the video on before sir leaves. Yes, ma'am. Priya, ma'am, proceed.
Thank you, sir. An idol of knowledge, experience, and inspiration to all of us. Thank you for enlightening us with your words of wisdom, and we appreciate the numerous steps you are taking towards various initiatives taken by the Karnataka government towards improving teaching learning experience. We are honored to present to you a green certificate in recognition of your contributions towards the academic community. A sapling, Vitex trifolia Neerulaki, has been planted in your name in Christu Jayanti College campus. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Shall we continue with the...
Professor Vedi Prakash, Professor, can continue. Professor?
I invite Vedi Prakash, Professor Vedi Prakash, to continue. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Priya. In fact, in the second part, I have decided to speak on the topic of the conference. Dr. Edward and Father George, they have already talked about the national education policy, which has underlined the significance of increased access, equity, and inclusion through a range of measures, including greater emphasis on the use of technology. Each institution is expected to integrate its academic plans, ranging from curricular improvement to quality of classroom transaction, into its larger institutional development plan. And there is a time given by the national education policy that each institution has to be ready with the IDP by 2030. Open and distance learning and online education has the potential to provide a natural path to increase access to quality higher education. Technology has to be leveraged to strengthen and even undertake newer initiatives proposed by the national education policy. Quality technology-based options such as apps, online courses, modules, satellite-based TV channels, online books, and IC-equipped libraries will have to be developed. And like the commissioner was saying a little while ago, some of the private institutions are far ahead of the public institutions insofar as the use of technology in higher education is concerned. National Education Policy has recommended setting up of the National Educational Technology Forum, NETF, to provide a platform for free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, administration. The thrust of technological interventions will be for the purposes of improving teaching, learning, and evaluation processes, supporting teacher preparation and professional development, enhancing educational access, and streamlining educational planning, management, administration, including processes related to admission, attendance, assessment, etc. Higher education all over the world is undergoing enormous amount of transformation in all its multidimensional aspects. It includes engagement with new emerging frontiers of knowledge, developing its interdisciplinary perspective, research and innovation covering both fundamental and applied aspects across different subjects, impact of technology on the process of teaching and learning, to name a few. Higher education, Indian higher education cannot be an exception to this global development. It is obligated to take appropriate measures to provide access to quality higher education to a large number of aspirants using both conventional as well as other possible technology-mediated modes of teaching and learning. Indian system thus far, we all know, has been largely based on face-to-face and ODL system. In fact, ODL system started in early 60s. Until then, we had only the traditional mode of face-to-face mode of delivery system. About 88% of the total enrollment is in face-to-face and 12% in ODL mode. The ODL, which is in vogue since 60s, is currently in use in 91 universities, which includes one central university, that is Indira Gandhi National Open University, and 13 state open universities, and 77 state universities. Although Indian higher education has progressed considerably since independence, it is still at the threshold of the initial phase of massification, as I had said earlier, with only 26.7% of the gross enrollment ratio, which is several notches lower than the world average of 34.45%. The idea of online mode of delivery in Indian university system was mooted by the University Grants Commission in 2016. It was considered that this measured transition would provide good opportunity to the universities to have sufficient experience in developing multimedia enriched e-courseware in 4 quadrants format and massive open online courses, video lectures, and modules, besides developing and organizing necessary infrastructure that would be the basic requirement to run online program. Now, possibilities of developing and offering online blended or hybrid models of learning are becoming a reality across the globe. But there are serious issues, more serious issues than the conventional system of delivery, of quality like availability of tech-savvy teachers, quality of instructional material which can be delivered through online mode, requisite infrastructure. Many institutions do not have their own studio. Broadband connectivity continues to be a major problem, and accessibility of middle and lower middle class students with smart devices and internet connectivity. I was delighted to hear the commissioner who said that we have made the tablets available to all the students in the state of Karnataka, which should be commendable, which should be appreciated and the state government should be congratulated for that if they have done that. These are extremely concerning issues that have no easy fixes and thus require thoughtful examination. There are a number of leading universities of the world which have not yet considered it fit to offer online degree programs because of quality considerations. Although these universities have developed a wide range of online courses in the form of e-courseware, MOOCs, video lectures, and modules, but they make them available to those who want to broaden their knowledge on a particular topic free of cost without seeking any formal degree. There are other sets of leading universities that are offering online courses only to complement their campus-based degree programs and not for the award of full-fledged degree. I think we should not lose sight of these developments. Most of the universities may not be fully equipped in terms of basic technical infrastructure as well as technology-oriented workforce. The first and the foremost requirement of an institution would be to carry out customized enterprise resource planning to facilitate hassle-free learners' registration with provision of authentication, document verification, and payment gateway. They will have to develop an appropriate dashboard that can provide quick access to all the stakeholders. It should be able to provide quick reminders to everyone, from the administrator to mentor to learners, to complete the task in a time-bound manner. They will have to set up a center having e-learning facilities, including video studio for recording, editing, and enriching lectures through animations and simulations. Universities will have to create their own learning management systems. And the learning management system, which have user-friendly features and provisions for both synchronous and asynchronous interactions to ensure seamless delivery of course contents and organization of discussion forums, because the learners would also like to discuss amongst themselves. And as we all know, the peer learning is as important as the guided learning, as important as the self-learning. They may have to develop artificial intelligence-driven learning management system with adaptive learning and adaptive assessment features to provide personalized learning experiences. Learning management system integrated with analytical tools and other applications will have to be effectively used to analyze learners' engagement in different activities, to provide timely feedback besides ensuring the authenticity of the learner and mitigating the participation of proxy learners. This aspect of the learning management system is going to be extremely critical, not only to combat unfair means when you are conducting the proctored examination, but also to ascertain real engagement of learner for the purpose of having their fair assessment. The LMS must be accessible in all devices, especially mobile devices, to enable all kinds of learners to use without any technical glitches. The universities will have to put in place a robust system of proctored examination to ensure transparency, objectivity, and credibility of their degree programs. On academic fronts, universities will have to redesign the curriculum to ensure its compatibility with the requirements of online delivery. The first and foremost requirement would be about redesigning outcome-based curriculum, which ensures mapping of graduate attributes that are in sync with the needs and requirements of both global markets and the society. It would require proper structuring of syllabi with inbuilt hierarchy, development of good quality learner-centric and multimedia enriched content in 4 quadrants, reading material in the form of e-courseware, short duration video lectures, assignments in the form of projects, quizzes to enable students to participate in online discussions, and criterion referenced and norm referenced tests to assess the real potential of individual learner. Universities will have to make digital library resources available, provide links for open education resources and MOOCs, and list of related publications as per the requirements of the program to encourage self-learning. They will have to provide a professionally trained mentor teachers who will have to guide and counsel students at every stage of the program, should we decide to offer online degree programs. Universities will also have to redesign assessment tools for both formative and summative assessment. Universities will have to make doubly sure that their program administrators or the mentors do not treat the online program as an autoplay video courses. It has to be interactive. It will require tech-savvy teachers who are fully conversant not only with the ICT-empowered pedagogies and virtual interactions, but are also capable of mentoring the students by engaging them effectively throughout the program. This would require teacher-student ratio much lower than what it was proposed by the University Grants Commission at 1:250. This would call for reorganization of regular orientation programs for the faculty in collaboration with the experts in e-learning and technology-mediated teaching and learning. As of now, let us be very honest, there are maybe very few institutions in the country which can honestly fulfill all technical, academic, and social requirements of full-fledged online degree programs. And even when they do meet those professional requirements, there would still remain a serious concern of ensuring that no student, irrespective of his or her geographical location, has any kind of deprivation with regard to access to tools, devices needed for wholesomely benefiting from online modalities. A student present in the city of Bangalore and a student located in a far-flung college in Shimoga or Vizianagaram or Nellore or Guntur should have access to the smart devices and proper internet connectivity. Although it seems less threatening, but if institutions are going to seize this opportunity to maximize their resources like some of them did through their ODL programs, Professor Edward and Father George, you may be knowing it, that there was a time when the open and distance learning mode was thoroughly abused. The degrees were just distributed, and the money which was earned by the universities through the online program, through the open and distance learning program, it was used for the expansion of the universities for the regular program. It was not spent on developing the quality material for the ODL students. This transition obviously is going to be as much difficult a challenge for the institutions as for the regulators. It's not going to be a piece of cake for either of the two. But since they have already moved in this direction, University Grants Commission has already permitted several universities to offer a full program through online mode, particularly in humanities and social sciences, in those domains of knowledge wherein the practical work is not required. Now the onus lies on them to set standards and institutionalize full-fledged online degree programs by justifying all the essential academic, technical, and social requirements, failing which it would be nothing short of a misadventure. That's all, Dr. Edward and Father George and Dr. Mahajan and Dr. Desai, I wanted to share with you. And though I have taken a little longer, I believe, but I would like to express my sincere thanks to Father George, Professor Rajkumar Mahajan, Dr. Aloysius Edward and Priya for having given me this opportunity to be with you this morning when you are going to reflect on a very important topic, that is leveraging technology for higher education in the country. I want to congratulate the organizers and I want to thank them from the very, very core of my heart for giving me this opportunity. And I wish all the very best and great success of this conference to all the participants who are attending it from different locations. Thank you very much. And over to Priya. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you are an epitome of knowledge, wisdom, and dynamism. Yes, sir. You have enlightened us on the importance of quality in higher education to mold our students for an industry-ready workforce, emphasize on innovations, focus on futuristic orientation for higher learning and sustainable development. You have discussed extensively on incorporating technology in higher education, outcome-based education, mapping of graduate attributes, importance of mentoring in ICT-enabled teaching learning experience. Thank you, sir, for rekindling our academic spirit. We are honored to present to you a green certificate in recognition of your contributions towards higher education. A sapling, Justicia Adathoda or Adusoge, has been planted in your name in Christu Jayanti College campus. Thank you, sir.
I accept it with all humility. And thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Professor, for the late, that evening. You are the part of this conference. So from our heart, we see that how energetic and how enthusiastic you are about the higher education scenario of India. I join with the IICP to thank you once again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you.
Okay. And do I have your permission to leave now?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can I leave?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Wish you all the very best once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
To everyone, and God bless you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. I request Dr. K. Mahajan, AICP President, to present the felicitation.
Good morning, all the dignitaries attending this conference. I, Dr. Rajkumar Mahajan, President AICP, welcome the Chief Guest, Mr. Pardeep P. IAS, Commissioner, Department of Higher Education, on this 23rd Annual Conference of AICP being organized virtually in collaboration with Christu Jayanti College, Bangalore. I admire the presence of members of Board of Trustees whose guidance and blessings encourage all the office bearers of AICP to be united and work for the benefits of all the stakeholders of higher education. I welcome all the fellow principals who are attending the virtual conference and will be presenting their views on the different sub-themes of the conference with the main theme leveraging the technology for higher education. Due to COVID-19, the biggest impact of the struck on online mode due to closure of all educational institutions since March 2020. Though now the institutions are opening and the students are attending the classes following COVID instructions, but still we have to be ready to transform digitally in education through technology to improve access to higher education. The head of institutions have a new responsibility now to shoulder as the head of the family. We need to transform ourselves into a considerate, compassionate, caring, supportive, and yet firm facilitator on whose decision depends the transforming of obstacles into opportunities. It is undoubtedly an uphill task, but it is a survival mechanism. Several seen and unseen difficulties and challenges waylay us. Often, opportunities come in disguise. Therefore, many of us fail to recognize and grab them. So we should be alert and watch for the opportunities. Colleges are reopening and our planning should start now. How to transform through technology by changing the mode of teaching, equally online as well as offline. The journey from brick classroom to click classrooms is not an easy one. Each of us will have to get accustomed to the role of technology in the process and prepare teachers and students for these changes. The process of unlearning, learning, and relearning will have to be accelerated. The major change that the students will have to undergo is giving up the spoon feeding received in the conventional classes. Inevitably, the rapid advancement of technology have shifted the paradigm due to COVID-19 pandemic. Higher education plays an essential role in the society. Every institution must continue to focus on approaches that make higher education more accessible and affordable for all. It is also important that all students who have come to college must leave with meaningful, high quality degrees and credentials to contribute to the workforce and provide for themselves and their families. Therefore, colleges must provide high quality education through technology. The role of ICTs in education is becoming more and more vital. Smart devices, smart boards, online classrooms, digital cameras, projectors, video conferencing tools, audio recording tools have become the part of infrastructure in almost every institution. Technology allows learners and instructors to tap resources and expertise anywhere globally. Today, in this virtual conference of AICP, keeping in view the need of the hour, a big discussion will be made on the digital technology by various head of institutions. About 65 papers will be presented on different sub-themes in different sessions. I am thankful to Dr. Baba for taking an initiative to organize 23rd Annual National Conference of AICP, in which about 250 principals are taking part. I am indebted to the principal, Dr. Augustine George, Principal Christu Jayanti College, Bengaluru, Dr. Aloysius Edward, Director IQAC, and all the members of the technical teams who are doing their utmost effort to make this conference more successful. I'm highly thankful to all the principals and delegates who are attending this conference and will give their valuable suggestions beneficial for all the stakeholders of higher education. Once again, on behalf of AICP, I welcome all the dignitaries who are attending this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words of wisdom. It is our pleasure to honor you with a green certificate for your contribution towards 23rd AICP conference.
Thank you.
A sapling, Annona muricata, Mullu Ram Phala, has been planted in your name in Christu Jayanti College campus. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot.
Life is about discovering who we are. Leading is about striving to become better than we are and helping everything and everyone around us to become better too. Now I request Dr. Sanjay M. Vakil, Secretary General AICP, to present the felicitation.
Thank you, ma'am. The former Chairman of University Grants Commission, Dr. Vedi Prakash, the Commissioner of Department of Higher and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka, Sri Pradeep P. IAS, the Principal of Christu College, Father Dr. Augustine George, the President of AICP, Dr. Mahajan, Vice President of AICP, Dr. Ashok Desai, all the principals of AICP, and distinguished guests. First of all, I am really thankful to Christu College for organizing 23rd Conference of AICP. And I'm really thankful to Dr. Vedi Prakash for giving a very good information regarding digital higher education, which is going on at present. A sequence of profound and coordinated culture, workforce, and technology adjustment that enable new educational and operating models and restructure an institution's operations, strategic directions, and value offer according to the definition of digital transformation. Digital education is a game-changing technique of knowledge transfer, especially because it equalizes the playing fields for all students. With an estimated 430 million children aged 0 to 18, India has the world's highest population of children. The state of education in the country has been appalling, particularly in rural areas, with issues such as archaic teaching techniques, teacher shortages, a grossly unequal student-teacher ratio, and insufficient instructional materials affecting the sector, which Dr. Vedi Prakash mentioned about it. By giving multimedia teaching resources to teachers and engaging students through learning methods that use digital tools such as smart boards, LCD panels, movies, and other digital tools, the digitization of education helps to alleviate all of these difficulties. It also allows a single teacher to give information remotely across multiple sites using interactive digital media, alleviating the country's teacher shortage. As students engage in online digital settings and as faculty transform educational methods through the use of hybrid courses, individualized instruction, new collaboration models, and a variety of innovative, engaging learning strategies, digital education is generating new learning opportunities. Furthermore, a 21st century understanding of student success necessitates students not only being thoughtful customers of digital content, but also effective and collaborative creators of digital media, demonstrating competencies and communicating ideas through dynamic storytelling, data visualization, and content curation. Friends, it would be a great challenge for all of us in 21st century when the new education policy is going to be implemented. And it would be a great challenge for all the principals of the different institutions in India after pandemic 19. So let us hope that this conference will prove a very, very good information for all the principals of the colleges, that will be fruitful for us to have such good informations in the coming days. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with the felicitation. We deem it an honor to present to you a green certificate for your contributions towards the 23rd AICP National Conference. A sapling, Cinnamonum verum, has been planted in your name in Christu Jayanti College campus. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I do accept.
One does not set out to be a leader, but becomes one by the equality of his actions and the integrity of his intent. I now request Dr. Ashok M. Desai, Vice President AICP, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Madam. Good morning to one and all. Today's chief guest and inaugurator of AICP conference, Sri Pradeep ji, keynote speaker and honorable and former UGC chairperson, Professor Vedi Prakash, AICP President, Dr. Mahajan, AICP General Secretary, Dr. Vakil, Chairperson of AICP Principal Sigurkar sir, all trustees of AICP and executive committee members of AICP, participants and delegates of AICP conferences. Namaste. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for the virtual conference of AICP. On behalf of AICP, I would like to thank our inaugurator, Sri Pradeep ji, who honored this conference with his enlightened and inspirational thoughts. I would like to thank our keynote speaker and former UGC chairperson, Professor Vedi Prakash, for sparing time, guidance, and motivation, as well as thought-provoking words on two aspects: rethinking quality in higher education and leveraging technology for the higher education. I would like to thank our executive member, Principal Baba, for mentoring the conference to the XXIII Jayanti College and their team. It is my privilege to say thank you to AICP Chairperson, Principal Sigurkar Sir, Principal Chindareji, and my friends, Principal Subhas Bhai Brahmpat, for the selection of most relevant theme of the conference. I may like to express thanks to AICP President and my friend, Dr. Mahajan, and one of friend, General Secretary, Dr. Vakil, for supporting, arranging, and taking a decision to organize this virtual conference. My sincere thanks to the father, Dr. George, and his team to organize and administer the AICP virtual conference, and I congratulate them for NET 8++ grade. I am particularly grateful to the technical session team, especially to the moderator, chairperson, and reporter to be handled the different schedule, which will be the heart of the conference. We cannot fail to appreciate the participants and delegates. Due to them, conference will become a grand successful. My dear friends, from my point of view, there are 4 ways to the liberate technology for the higher education. First, improve communication through the effective technology use. Enhance collaboration through digital learning space. Foster active discussion. And enhance visualization and presentation. Moreover, I must say to our principals and professors to motivate our students for Atmanirbhar Bharat, making in India, vocal for local, skill development program, and distance learning education. Now, I am very much confident that our next conference will be offline. I owe special gratitude to whom those who have given cooperation directly or indirectly to become this conference successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of XXIII Jayanti College and Association of Indian College Principals, we express our sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. Ashok M. Desai for your valuable presence and exceptional contributions towards higher education. We are honored to present to you a green certificate in recognition to your contributions towards 23rd AICP conference. A sapling, Vitex Negundo, has been planted in your name in XXIII Jayanti College campus. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much and welcome, madam.
To encapsulate, the scope for leveraging technology for learning is massive. As technological innovations make new strides with each passing day, the scope is constantly growing far more colossal. The silver lining of this 2-day AICP Virtual National Conference, Leveraging Technology in Higher Education, is the opportunity to connect, collaborate, and share best practices. Looking forward. On that note, we come to the end of the inaugural session of the 15th IQAC and 23rd Association of Indian College Principals Conference 2022. I now request the college choir to render the college anthem.
Like a golden disc, sun in horizon east, lights up a life divine, fills knowledge in our minds. Laurels and the book make us sublime. With the mighty Lord, we soar high on the bedrock of faith. Integrity of force, human dignity true, excellence we strive. Crystal giant thing, light and prosperity. Crystal giant thing, light and prosperity. Raise of joy and peace, sprawl our hearts and minds. On we march our goals as a beacon for the world, with a passion for our growth and a love for humankind, united and strong in excellence on the bedrock of faith. Integrity of force, human dignity true, excellence we strive. Crystal giant thing, light and prosperity. Crystal giant thing, light and prosperity.
Thank you, choir. Thank you, one and all, for your valuable presence. We continue with the next session. The keynote session 1 on challenges in higher education, issues and probable solutions and insight commences immediately. The session is delivered by Professor R. Mahesh, Department of Pharmacy, Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani Campus, Rajasthan. Request all to continue with the same Zoom ID